Astounding admission by the U.S. Air Force and Department of Defense that is launching that review. Just an incredible, extensive, violent record that this gunman had. He struck and choked his ex-wife. He hit his stepson so hard that it fractured the skull. There was the animal cruelty misdemeanor charge in which a witness says he hit a dog, a husky, with closed fists. And there was also a rape charge or rape accusation he was a suspect for but was never charged. The Academy Sports and Outdoor Stores out here in San Antonio says that this gunman was able to successfully purchase 2 guns in 2016 and 2017 because he passed that background check. So now the U.S. Air Force and the Department of Defense really doing some soul searching and asking how this was able to happen and why it was not reported to the FBI. We are now knowing more about the motive. The investigators say it had nothing to do with religion or race, but rather likely a family dispute. Text messages threatening his mother-in-law were sent before the shooting. We're also reportedly hearing that among the victims was his grandmother-in-law. The mother-in-law was known to attend this church but was not inside the church at the time. Also, we're now learning more about the extent of this gunman's injuries. We know that as he was in that vehicle and died, he shot himself in the head, but before that he called his father telling him that he thought he wasn't going to survive because of 2 gunshot wounds he received from that hero resident who engaged the suspect outside of the church. Listen to what authorities said yesterday.
Today, the autopsy was performed on the shooter, and if you notice, I used shooter instead of the suspect's name. We do not want to glorify him and what he's done. But the autopsy was conducted this morning, and what I can tell you is he sustained 3 gunshots wounds.
Notice the police are no longer saying the suspect's name. A vigil will be held tonight at a local high school here in Floresville.
Really tough stuff. Brian, inside the church, what more information, what more details do you have about that?
Just horroring stuff. 450 rounds unloaded inside the church. Witnesses say he walked into the middle of the aisle and began shooting, not only from the outside, but when he went in, he shot the cameraman and the audio crew inside first. He then began to shoot babies first at point-blank range. The gunman was walking down the aisle and was just shooting. People didn't really have any chance to go anywhere, so they hit the ground hiding. We also know that he specifically was shooting at people's cell phones that were trying to call police. One woman saying that she was shot at 3 times. Her phone was shot 3 times. We're also learning more about what the parents were doing inside. Many of the victims inside were children. Like Joanne Ward, she fell on her children to protect them. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to protect 2 of her children, Emily as well as Brooke, both 7 and 5 years old. 2 others did survive. Her 9-year-old daughter and her 5-year-old son, Ryland. Ryland is in the hospital right now. He is recovering at University Hospital with 5 gunshot wounds. He walked into this church and said, quote, "Everyone die," expletive, according to a witness. There are now at least 13 victims still in the hospital. 4 of them are children.